I don't care if you think I'm Satan reincarnated.
Are you talking to me?
Wyatt.
I love that question. Thank you.
That's a very nice question. Let me shake your hand.
I wish that his family or his administration or his staff would have an intervention.
I'm always right.
I'm an extremely stable genius.
I am the chosen one.
George W. Bush says to me, well, that was some weird shit.
Wow. Politics. We live in a communication age, and especially with politics, communication is key. Politics is all about simplicity, reducing things to a simple idea that you can easily comprehend. This is an issue because the way that politicians speak and the way that politics are talked about are really manipulative. All politicians want to do is give you an easy answer that benefits them. And today, we're going to be talking about the manipulation tactics that many politicians use. And honestly, they're used everywhere. And it's something I think everyone needs to be aware of. I want people to know how to look at a situation and come up with their own conclusions. I want people to think freely, and that's what this is about. But if you watch this video, I guarantee you'll be able to navigate all types of media forever. Intentional vagueness.
But I said, something's wrong here. Something's really wrong. Can't have happened. And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. Our exciting adventures and boldest endeavors have not yet begun. My fellow Americans, for our movement, for our children, and for our beloved country. And I say this, despite all that's happened, the best is yet to come.
This is one of the most complicated manipulation tactics of all, because it's so hard to pin down. It's all about using vague or poorly defined terms to promote or challenge an opinion. The goal is to make you draw your own interpretations, which can distract from legitimate concerns. For example, when a politician says something like, "We need to take back the country," what does that mean? From who? How? Now? Later? It's up to you to decide. I've heard a lot of people say for certain politicians, "Oh, that's not what they meant. They meant this." That is a red flag. That is a perfect example of intentional vagueness. This is done all the time, but when it's done in situations with large groups of people, this can turn into a very dangerous mob mentality. When your audience is angry and you stoke the fire with these vague statements, it can make them think it's time to take action. And that action, again, is very subjective. Much like January 6th, Trump gave a speech on January 6th using intentional vagueness, making statements like, "The election was rigged. You don't concede when theft is involved. We will not take it anymore. We will stop the steal." What does that mean? Well, to the crowd that day, it meant invading the Capitol and intimidating the government to overturn the election. A completely un-American thing. People died that day, and it's because of intentional vagueness. This technique is also dangerous because the person using it can say these vague statements and not have to take any blame for people committing violent acts after hearing those statements, because the speaker can simply say, "I did not tell them to do that explicitly." This is one of the most sinister forms of manipulation. These people didn't take any responsibility for what they're saying and the results that happen after. This is the power of intentional vagueness. This technique can also be used in a positive way as well. When Obama was campaigning, he gave speeches that said things like, "Something is happening in America. Something is happening because people believe in what this country can be. We are ready to take this country in a fundamentally new direction." If that isn't the most vague statement, I don't know what is. Again, the audience member is filling in the blank for Obama. It makes the audience do the work. It lets the speaker say something so meaningless that it creates meaning in the mind of the listener. We must hold people accountable for the things that they say and the words that they use. If they go unchecked, things like January 6th can happen again and again. Fear.
We begin with an actual modern-day bloodbath. This bloodbath is reaching every single corner of our country.
They're poisoning the blood of our country.
And if he's elected, the consequences will be catastrophic.
Your family is less safe.
Fear is one of the easiest emotions to tap into for humans. We all feel it. When someone is feeling fear, they can't see the world clearly. They can't think clearly. All they can do is focus on that fear. Fox News uses the fear of immigrants to make you feel danger, but they have the solution. Elect right-wing politicians that will make you feel safe. And then they show you commercials for MyPillow. On the left, CNN and MSNBC use things like Project 2025 to make Republicans seem fanatic, insane, crazy, out of their minds. And the goal of these news outlets is to elect left-wing politicians. But we must not give in to fear. And the way to fight against this is to know when you're feeling fear. You can face your fear. Understand for yourself why you are afraid. And then ask yourself, will it be as bad as they say? Can I make it through this if I push through the fear? And the answer is always yes. No matter what a news organization or politician says, you will be okay. You will make it through. Because real life is not the fantasy that these people want you to accept. Name calling.
The communists, Marxists, fascists, and the radical left thugs that live like vermin.
Or if it's taken over instead by a strongman authoritarian form.
And things she says that are over the top, like,
the Democrats are a party of pedophiles.
I would definitely say so.
There was a lot of name-calling going on in today's age. Libtard, pub, for Republicans. These terms are easy to use and they do a good job of dehumanizing the people being made fun of. If you see a politician or a news organization using name-calling, be aware. It's a huge red flag. This is dangerous because it causes division. It becomes an us versus them situation. This makes it easier for you to treat them differently and it reduces them to an idea. And that idea is whatever you think it is. Or it could even be the idea that a politician has planted into your head. This is one of Trump's main weapons in his rhetoric.
Lion Ted, Lion Ted. What's your name? My name's Lion Ted Cruz.
Crooked Hillary, fuck.
Under crooked Joe Biden.
Literal name calling. This is used by the left as well when they call Trump a dictator. Again, simplifying a person or a group and making you either fear them, hate them, or adore them. Fascist, socialist, patriot. It's like a sports team, getting people to hate the other side. But sticking to the golden rule is the only way to combat this. Treat others how you want to be treated. Give people the respect they deserve, even if you disagree with them. Don't call them names that boil them down to a simplistic idea.
Yes, we can! Yes, we can!
Build that wall. Build that wall. Build that wall. Build that wall.
Slogans are another tried and true manipulation tactic. Commercials and companies are the best at slogans. I'm loving it. Just do it. The point of the slogan is that it's easy to remember, and 2, it helps you associate good or bad feelings with the thing the slogan is about. McDonald's. I'm loving it. Love it. Love McDonald's. You might find yourself eating a Big Mac and thinking that you really do love it. Slogans used in politics are a different story. On top of slogan is repetition. If you say it over and over and over again, it's seared into people's minds. Slogans in politics invoke a much stronger emotion, tied to a possible existential threat or need. Make America great again. If we break this down, it says that America was once the promised land, the American dream, but now that has been taken away from you. Someone has damaged the once sacred place that is America, and you must do anything to get it back. To make it great again. All said in just 4 words. Make America great again. This was also used by Obama with his slogan of yes, we can. Only 3 words. Amazing. Empowering. Yes, we can. We can change the world. We can do anything. So you can see how a good slogan can be so powerful for a politician. It gives you a direction to go without having to think. You can think of the slogan when you're supporting someone or committing acts that you think will make America great again. And I think we can be honest. No slogan in recent history has had such an effect as Make America Great Again.
It's your fault.
Scapegoating is a tried and true manipulation tactic.
Joe Biden has brought the carnage and chaos and killing from all over the world.
Democrats' disastrous record on crime, trade, and regulation has ruined the lives of countless Minnesotans.
Trampled underfoot by the radical left.
And scapegoating basically means blaming all of the world's problems we have on one thing. Gas prices are so high because of Joe Biden. The economy is bad because of Democrats. This is the core of scapegoating, blaming this one thing and then thinking, well, if we got rid of this one thing, then everything would be better. You see where this can go? There was a major use of scapegoating in history, with Hitler blaming the Jews in World War II and putting them into concentration camps. As you can see, scapegoating never ends well. we shouldn't blame one thing for all of our problems. There are many reasons why things might be good or bad, and blaming one thing, group, or person is never the answer. Oversimplification.
My views on immigration are simple. Legal, good. Illegal, bad.
Oversimplification is about treating a complex problem or subject with false simplicity.
The Democrats ripped open our borders and allowed millions of illegal aliens to pour in, driving up the cost of housing and health care while slashing American wages and eliminating jobs.
There is a lot to unpack in that statement, and it will take 10 times the amount of time to disprove that statement than to just say it. And this is why oversimplification is so difficult to fight. You don't have enough time to debunk what these people are saying, and they just keep going and going and going and going. This is so sinister because it's as close to lying as you can get, and the people saying this just want you to accept it. They don't want you to dig deeper and think for yourself. Another example from the left would be during COVID, many news outlets and politicians said, get the vaccine.
Now we know that the vaccines work well enough that the virus stops with every vaccinated person. A vaccinated person gets exposed to the virus does not infect them, the virus cannot then use that person to go anywhere else.
So just get it. And while the vaccine did help, it didn't necessarily stop COVID in its tracks. These situations were all oversimplified by many people. This technique is used so much in debates, articles, your uncle at the Thanksgiving table. It's easy to say and hard to fight. And it's much easier for people to just accept these answers. Easy answers are great. We love easy answers. It takes no effort to accept them. The issue is life is much more complicated than these people make it out to seem. If we start oversimplifying everything, we will never be able to have a nuanced conversation about real issues. Life isn't so simple. Testimonial is what it sounds like.
And the only way we can prove that to you is by having lots of famous people.
Lots of famous people.
Lots and lots of famous people. Repeating how important.
Important.
How important it is.
Vote.
It's when someone you might think is cool says do this or think that. Testimonials provide credibility. They build trust with an audience. And it might help persuade you if you're on the fence. We worship celebrities, and if a celebrity or influencer says something, you best believe that people are going to listen.
My name is Amber Rose. I'm a model and entrepreneur. Thank you. No matter your political background, that the best chance we have to give our babies a better life is to elect Donald Trump President of the United States.
Amber Rose, a celebrity, gave a testimonial promoting Trump. She is a person of color, and she said that in the past she believed the left-wing propaganda that Trump was a racist. But now she fully endorses the guy. This person has 20 million social media followers. Even if a small fraction of those people listen to her, that would help the Republican cause. The right can say, look at Amber Rose. How can Trump be racist? She says that she likes him, and she's a person of color. It's so blatantly done at times, it's insulting. Whenever you see a political campaign and you see someone speaking, like Hulk Hogan at the RNC, you should think, why are they here? What use are they to this situation? Just know, they're trying to trick you into thinking a certain way. Think for yourself. Association is kind of a complicated one.
By the grace of God.
It is a divine intervention by God that President Trump is not dead right now.
This is divine intervention.
God's divine providence.
God has put an armor of protection over Donald Trump.
Association is when a symbol that carries respect, authority, is used along with an idea to make something more acceptable. Example, the American flag. Every single politician that you see will speak in front of a flag. And this can subconsciously persuade you into thinking that their values are American values. They want you to associate them with what America represents. Again, in the recent case of the RNC, as you saw in the clip, many Republicans are associating Trump with God, making his cause a holy one. As you can imagine, that is extremely dangerous. When someone starts associating someone with God, that never turns out well. But this can also be used in a negative sense. The Democrats during the beginning of the Trump administration also tried to tie Trump to Russia, saying there was collusion, associating him with Putin, and saying all these negative things about him, trying to make him seem like he's compromised. And for a long time, people thought, and still think, that Trump is Putin's puppet. when in reality, we don't really know. But all we should know is that association is very powerful and it is used on a daily basis. The plain folk tactic.
When he escapes Dallas, he heads to his Crawford Ranch, where he's known to get his hands dirty. Whether he's clearing brush or tending to his tree farm, he's often spotted loading up the back of his Ford F-150.
I'm just a regular, everyday, normal guy. I'm just like you. I just love America and want to hang out and have a beer. The point of this manipulation tactic is to make a politician seem more relatable, a common person who can empathize with your concerns. They want you to think that you could maybe even hang out with them. And there's many ways that the plain folk manipulation tactic is used. One of the ways is when Obama was in office, he would play basketball with his members of staff, making it seem like Obama was just another guy who liked to play a little pickup with his buddies. There's more subtle forms when politicians visit small towns and they will wear jeans and a flannel instead of a suit to make them look like one of the locals. It's a really sly way to get people to lower their guard. I'm not talking to a politician, I'm talking to my fellow blue jean-wearing American. Special shout out to Vladimir Putin. Putin does an amazing job of this. He makes it seem like he's just another Russian bear. He takes pictures of him fishing, hunting, riding horseback shirtless. You might think it's silly, but it's very effective. His popularity has always been favorable because of the hard work he puts into the plain folk approach. But you have to know, these people aren't like us. Appeal to guilt.
Now is the time to actually go do it, because we really cannot afford you having to go to the hospital right now. It's the unvaccinated people who it's going to make sick, and we really just cannot afford for you to have to go to the hospital right now. If you are able to get yourself into a bed, you're going to be filling a bed that somebody else really needs. Even if it wasn't okay for you before, it's okay for you to do it now. Honestly, your country needs you.
Rachel Maddow is trying to make you feel bad if you're not vaccinated, trying to make you think of poor old grandmas and grandpas that won't get care unless you get the COVID vaccine. Now, I think getting the vaccine was fine, but people shouldn't have to be guilt-tripped into doing these types of things. It should be about information, objectivity, and people making decisions for themselves. If we explore the other side, many right-wing people who are against abortion will use kids as their ammo against women's right to choose. They will say things like, "You're killing babies if you get an abortion." And I'm pretty sure no one wants to kill babies. So this device is very effective for people who are feeling bad about possibly getting an abortion they might need. Again, it's up to the person to decide. Everyone should have their own choice, and they shouldn't feel guilty for making that choice. The next one is glittering generalities.
Yes, we can to justice and equality. Yes, we can to opportunity and prosperity. Yes, we can heal this nation. Yes, we can repair this world.
Glittering generalities are absolutely meaningless words that tell you nothing. It suits the meaning of the speaker. They may truly want change or equality or freedom. These words probably mean a lot to you. But keep in mind, everyone has their own idea of what these words mean. As we see from Obama, hope, change. Two glittering generalities that were a centerpiece of his campaign. Everyone wants hope. Who doesn't want a little change? They sound nice, but you could say them to anyone in the world and they would like it. Who wouldn't? But that's the point. These ideas are so general, they're meant to make you come up with your own definition of what they mean. This can also be used when speaking about groups, like when conservatives say that they are the party of law and order, at the same time as trying to elect a felon. It makes them sound righteous, fair, and honorable, when in reality, they're just like any political party. Some good, some bad. If something sounds too good to be true, then it is. If someone uses a glittering generality, you should always want clarification, because there's a chance that they could be supporting something entirely different than what you have in your head. We must be ever vigilant of these techniques, understand them, and don't ever succumb to them. We need people to be free thinkers, to use their own intuition, not the ideas of another person or a politician. Thank you guys for watching the video, and subscribe to Information for more information.